right, let's get over to the weather right now. As we experienced all of these tornado warnings, it felt like a record-setting day.
Sure did. We got the hardest working chief meteorologist in town, Brad Panovich, standing by. Brad, take a deep breath and tell us what we can expect tomorrow.
You know, I was telling Vanessa these stats. It's crazy. You know, we had 37 tornado warnings issued from the Greenville-Spartanburg office. That now will put us at 62 for the year. That's the most tornado warnings in a year. And remember, it's only, what, August 18th tomorrow, since 1986. And what was the previous record? It was last year at 61. So we've surpassed that with that late night tornado warning. So the tornado watch, I'll be watching carefully because they'll start whittling away these counties back to the west. So the line is right there and it's pushing off to the east. So technically 2 a.m. We'll see if it lasts that long. Now the flood watch is still up until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning as well, but we'll probably start seeing that whittled down as well. But we've had some flooding. The water is still rising in some locations because of that runoff. So there's the line of storms. You can see it pretty much across the area. It stretches all the way down to Columbia, through Charlotte, and up towards Statesville. Now here's the good news. If you live west of this line, that includes Lake Wylie, out towards Gaston County, Lincoln, Catawba, Cleveland, Western York, most of Chester now, you're all clear from severe. Now, there's still some runoff, but you're all clear from severe. We did have some flooding here in the last 15 minutes. Looks like a creek going into Lake Norman there in Iredell County, just west of Mooresville. That's Highway 150 right there. So some flooding occurring as it flows into the lake. The good news with some of our area lakes, they were pretty low because of the dry conditions. So there is some capacity for the lakes to hold some of this rain. But as this rain moves off to the east, the rain coming down from the mountains will be coming downstream and could kick off additional showers. Now, where's Fred? There's the remnants. It's actually, the last advisory was just issued with the system, so it's pushing off to the northeast. And by 2 a.m., all this mess should be out of here, and we'll dry out overnight and tomorrow. Now, there's still going to be a chance for a pop-up shower or storm tomorrow, but the chances are going to be probably in the 30 to 40% range as we see that kind of more westerly flow. Things will actually be moving tomorrow as the storms move out. So there's another view of our future cast just to show you that moving. For the next couple of hours, we're still going to have a high risk for flash flooding in those areas where that rain band sets up. By tomorrow, the heavy rain moves out of the area and will actually begin to dry out. So the flash flood threat goes down. So your hour by hour forecast through tonight, the rain tapers off. And look at this, by tomorrow, drier weather, calmer weather with temperatures in the low 80s. That tropical moisture moves out, but there's still some lingering moisture back to the west. So there's going to be the potential for some showers in the next couple of days. Severe weather risk will start to move out tonight, but with that stalled front up to the north, we could see some isolated areas of strong storms north and west of us, likely not in the Carolinas. And the wet weather over the next 7 days begins to move out of here. So you could still see some risk for some pop-up storms in the mountains, but overall the amount of rain is going to be lesser over the next few days. So you can see the 5-day rainfall forecast kind of more towards the coast. So this will be more isolated to scattered. I'll still keep a 40% tomorrow, but more in the 20% range going forward. Now in the tropics, believe it or not, we have two other tropical systems. We've got Tropical Storm Grace, which could become a hurricane, weaken, and then become a hurricane again as it moves across Mexico, but that is not going to impact the U.S. Now, what's interesting is Tropical Storm Henri could become a hurricane as well. It's going to stay off the coast, but because it's going to be a hurricane and get stronger, it's close enough to push some huge swells, maybe even beach erosion and rip currents up and down the East Coast. So while it stays off the East Coast, the potential is there, some big time surf and those swells. So just be cautious if you're heading to the beach. We could see some flooding in areas near the Outer Banks. So tomorrow, rebound in temperatures back up into the upper 80s. Hot, humid day, pop-up storm possible. And now we're back to that summer pattern. Look at these temperatures. Lower 90s going into the weekend with scattered storms, and those low 90s will stay intact all the way through the middle of next week before a subtle cool down by the end of the week. We'll be right back.